how it negatively impacts you. What's going on, everybody? This is the Cover Band Confidential Podcast. The podcast are cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
The pre-show conversations, that's where the magic is happening.
It's true.
If you want the real inside scoop, that's where it is. Sometimes we're just airing the dirty laundry in front of everybody. We don't even care.
And sometimes there's nothing to say, and we just get going.
Also fair. So how's it going?
Not bad. Not a lot going on music-wise. Still sort of in this interstitial space, but yeah, doing all right.
Cool. Not a whole lot going on here. We've got a gig recap from this weekend that we're going to get into, and a couple of guitars came back. I'm pretty excited about that. The biggest one being the Explorer.
The Pointy Boy.
Yeah, Pointy Boy made his return. Now, Pointy Boy had gone off because it needed a setup, of course, but this one's got a coil tap, and this knob here that pulls out, pulled all the way out. I was like, I need you to fix that. So dropped it off with John, my tech, and then he gave me both Strats last week. He gave me this one. He swung by yesterday, actually, which was Sunday. And it's all clean. Everything's adjusted. Everything plays great. And I go to try it out. I tuned it up today, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna rip into this thing. And I go and I grab this thing, and it. And so I took a video, and I was like, hey, John, did you forget something? And he's like, ah. He did everything else, though, so.
Dang it. It still pulls all the way out.
Nah, he'll be able to fix it. And we still have unfinished business. There's still a guitar trade that's in flux, so. As of now, no money has changed hands, so he's got an incentive to keep on top of these things, so that when we settle up, it's all good. But yeah, there was that, and just got to play around a lot with a bunch of systems in this whole live band karaoke scenario, which is pretty much the big kind of thrust for this week's episode. Jumping the gun there, or am I burying the lead? No, I'm leading the lead, right?
You're firing the gun.
Yes, yeah. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. Now, another thing that we were discussing right before this was NAMM 2026, because for those of you who aren't in the know, it's already been the date's already been confirmed, and registration hasn't happened yet, but the NAMM House conversation, the group chat never stopped. I'm in it still pretty much every single day. And found out this week that Philip over at the 40 Watt podcast, he's like, the house is booked. We're good for 2026. Sweetwater's covering it. I was like, all right, party on. Cool. It's go time. Yeah. And so I was like, wait a second. Dan, last time was like, next year it's going down, because around that time you were prepping for this surgery on your foot, and so that wasn't a possibility. And I was thinking maybe this one's the one. So I was like, hey, they booked this house, are you in? And he is, and what did you say?
I'll be about 3 or 4 weeks out from surgery on the other foot.
So yeah, you'll be 3 weeks post-op,
which won't work at all. So next year, then for the following, they keep thinking about next. I'm in, just not this one.
Fair. So you will be missed, because the big thing about creating content is you have to to approach people. That's not me.
Oh,
I managed to do it.
I can crack those doors for you next time.
Oh yeah, you would have been integral. We would have had our output would have exponentially increased from that perspective. I'm just hoping that this entire year been making contacts and keeping up with folks, and I think every time I've gone, it's gotten a little bit easier, because your name's getting out there and people know you and you know them, sure. And it's all there. So but really excited about the prospect. Got alerts for when airline tickets drop in price. That's probably a couple of months out, and everything else is pretty much good to go. So once registration opens, it'll be done, and we'll be off to NAMM 2026, which is pretty fun.
Excited to see it from remote.
You know what else is really exciting? We've got a review of sorts.
Ooh.
So this one came in via DM on Facebook. This is from Logan Verne. Logan reached out and said, "Hello, fellas. I discovered your podcast on YouTube while doing some research for how to find gigs earlier this year when me, my brother, and a friend decided to start a 3-piece pop punk and 2000s rock cover band.
Nice.
All the information you provided on your show has helped me a ton, and they just played their first show last week."
Boom.
There was a second half to that where he had sent kind of a sizzle reel of some stuff that they shot at that first gig, wanted to know our thoughts. And, it was a show of people that were there and they were having a good time. It was all the things that you would want in a deal. And I was like,
perfect.
First gig out, you're off to a great start. Just continue to compile that footage and, find the best of the best and then make your, 15, 30, 60, 90 second promos from all those compilations of clips as you go.
Yep.
So yeah, very cool to hear from folks. And, we've gotten a lot of emails from people who are new, people who have been with us for a while. Wanted to shout out the folks in Petty Larceny. They hit us up and had a question I think we'll get into probably next week. Because Dan and I kind of talked about it in the pre-show and have some thoughts, but I think may need some time to kind of ruminate on it.
I think.
But thanks, Logan, for reaching out. If you want your name or your band shouted out on the show, best way to do that, leave a review or send us a DM or any of those things. Okay. So this week, we're talking about this live band karaoke gig that I just did and the wider concept of these kinds of shows. Now, you are no stranger to karaoke, are you, Dan?
I've been doing live acoustic karaoke since 2018, something like that. And it's been just me up there with people coming up to a second mic to sing with me.
Yep.
And it's gone through a bunch of evolution in terms of the structure of it, the tech of it, the organization of it. But yes, it's been a core part of my offering for quite a long time.
Nice. So this one was kind of interesting. There was some stuff that changed the way that we normally do things. And I feel like it's worth talking about the kind of logistical or systemic things that we did differently for this one versus some of the other ones that we've done. The big kick here was that the client, which was a city, it was the city of Sewanee, Georgia, and the event was called Sewanee-okie, which is pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah.
And they wanted the lyrics to not only be visible to the person on stage, but they wanted to show them to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some AV stuff that we had to figure out, but that wasn't really the big deal. The way that we've been doing this is we've used our monitor, which is vertically oriented and just an output from Band Helper
right
onto this computer monitor on the stage. And it's fine, but it's not what I would consider a front-facing system.
Yeah.
It is rudimentary, effective, totally competent. It's not pretty.
I mean, it's how I'd call pretty much all of Band Helper. It's exceptionally powerful and not pretty.
Yes. Arlo is very good at making things do things, but the UX, could definitely be worked on.
Yeah.
And that's neither here nor there. But the issue is that, okay, I've got to figure out a way to make this look pretty. And so, luckily enough, I work for a company that is very entrenched in the live production world. So I used ProPresenter to do this. So it's one of those things where work and play overlapped. And the song list that I had put together, I think I did, it's been a couple of years at this point. So we've added 50 plus songs since then, and it took me a fair amount of time to get those added into the system. So the way that I have it set up is that you've got a library, and it was about 160 songs, and then I broke them up into playlists alphabetically. So instead of like if you're playing Don't Stop Believin', you don't have to scroll from A to D. You can go into like the D through F playlist, and then you only see like, the 15 songs in that section. So it's easier to navigate through. It is manual advance. We did have to have a dedicated operator. Thought we had somebody, they bailed. Tried to get another one. They bailed. I ended up paying my son an hourly wage to get him to go, because I was like, $100. And he's like, I don't think so. I was like, all right, I'll pay you $20 an hour for every hour that you're there. And so he did the math, and he's like, well, that's going to be like 7 or 8 hours. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So when that check clears, he'll get a nice little payday there. It worked flawlessly. It looked great. I went in and, added like fun motion backgrounds to all of the songs that kind of match the vibe of, the tune itself. I did send one into the Patreon Slack. For Jack and Diane, I found an animated like hot dog background. So, when they say sucking on chili dogs, there's like hot dogs raining from the sky.
Why would you do anything other than that?
Yes.
Perfect.
And then for All-Star, I put Shrek's swamp in the background.
Perfect.
That kind of stuff.
No notes.
Lots of inside jokes there. The other thing that I did is I did go through Band Helper, and I put MIDI presets for all of my patches onto every song. So when I loaded the chart, it loaded the preset. That's nice. I like that. And, as much as we say backhanded nice things about Band Helper, the MIDI preset function of Band Helper is phenomenal, because you set it up. It is dead simple. In my case, the HX Stomp, you have a channel and you've got a patch number. And once you know those things, you create a preset for whatever it is. So I've got, Acoustic Simulator, Roland JC Clean, mid crunch, heavy crunch. And then I just have to go into each of those songs and go MIDI preset and pick that patch. Save it, go on.
And that's your starting patch, right? You don't have automation.
No,
mid-song.
So automation is the next step in that process.
Yeah.
But as a rhythm player, I don't do a lot of dancing as far as like changing my stuff up.
Fair.
Maybe for certain songs we would, I could add like a solo boost if I'm doing something like that. But most of the time it's just, it's you play the thing and the thing comes out and other than...
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Plugging a tuner in, that's pretty much it. So both of those things happened and worked. I would love to have automated lyrics. It is something that we have talked about, and I think it's time. It's time to just eat the dadgum elephant and automate these things, because, like I said, this year has been the year of live band karaoke, and so if this makes our life easier moving forward, like it's past time. It's past time. So that's next on the agenda for sure. But after going through this, the thing about live band karaoke is that it is such a unique experience for all parties involved, the people, in front of the stage and the people on stage. And talking through it, the Patreon Slack was very it was very lively. A lot of questions, lots of, how does this work? What do you think about it? And so Dan and I decided that we should do the W's of live band karaoke. So that's what this week is about. So the who, what, when, where, why, and maybe why not of live band karaoke.
Right.
So Dan, what is live band karaoke?
Well, it's a nightmare. No, it's
not wrong.
It's a ton of fun. People come up, they do a thing they love, they do it with you, they enjoy being with you in your space. It's a thing they never get to do, and like anything that is high human contact,
high touch.
It's fraught with complexities and management challenges, and all kinds of things like that. When I first started doing it acoustic, and I had no helpers, it was just me. I made a set list in Band Helper for all my karaoke songs, and I printed it. And I made a book. Here's my book. Those of you who are looking at this in video can see I did it in a book. And DJs who aren't musicians but are playing tracks come with books that are really, really thick, way thicker than this, because they didn't have to learn the songs. They just push the button. By the end of when I was using paper, the first page was new additions, because I had a lot of regulars who came and wanted to see what was new that I'd learned. Here I am with a bunch of Beatles tunes. I guess I'd probably just done a Beatles live acoustic trivia show and learned a whole bunch of Beatles. And so that was the thing. I was doing these trivia and karaoke shows kind of back to back. And so I'd do a theme in the trivia and learn some new repertoire, and that would feed into what was now available in my karaoke book. Sex and Candy, Simple Man, Stuck in the Middle, some stuff that was new. Mm-hmm. And then several pages of just, songs that I knew.
Yep.
And I had a form that I'd made on paper that people came up and put their name and the song, and it was in order, and I would call them in order, and they'd come up and do the thing. Then the world shut down.
Yep.
And when the world opened back up, I was less interested in having people paw through my stuff and, for that matter, use my pens and write on my papers and all this stuff. I wanted a little space.
Well, and not only that, just the logistics of managing like physical things.
Yeah.
You're having to print out new lists because the lists get worn out, or you have a sign-up sheet and the sign-up sheet gets filled up or it gets trampled or whatever. And so you're constantly in this this cycle of printing and printing and printing and printing. And that in itself is just not great.
So I built myself a little web app. It's not ready for anyone else to use. It's entirely purpose-built for me, partially because the PayPal key is only me. It can only send money to my account. So it's not really ready for anyone else to use it. But for me, it does great. And so I have people using it. There's a QR code on the big collapsible banner that I use that gets them right to it. And they can now come sign up online. It shows up on my phone, which I have on my mic stand.
Yep.
And I can manage that. These days, I don't promise to, or in fact ever, take the songs in the order of sign up.
Yep.
I do it in the order of what works for the show, which might mean, my buddy Diane, who comes to everything I do, and I don't quite know who I am on stage if she's not in the room. She'll walk into the room. Actually, she'll be signing up in the passenger seat of the car as her husband is driving her there.
Yeah.
She'll be signing up for stuff, and I'll know she's coming because 20 songs just showed up in the list with her name on them. She's not in the room yet,
right.
But I know she's on her way.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to have her sing 20 times in a row. I got to dope this out, figure out kind of who's going to land when. And a lot of times I have 4, 5, 6 of my regulars in the room and then some randos. And a lot of the signups are regulars.
Yep.
And when a rando signs up, they're immediately at the front of the list.
Okay.
But apart from that, I'm round robining my regulars.
Yeah.
And that works pretty well. They are fun folks to play with and sing with, and they all have their standard songs. And works really well. Works really well. That's the current kind of modern version of it.
Yeah.
Prior to COVID, I was filling rooms at the place that I had a weekly show of this, and it was almost every sign up was somebody I didn't know.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of crowd interaction that was challenging, and I ended up writing rules.
Okay.
And like all rules, they are based in reactions to what people have done.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read these to you.
Okay.
Karaoke rules. Here are 3 ways to make the live acoustic karaoke great for everyone. 1, pick songs from the list. And don't pick songs not from the list. There are 360 plus really great songs on the list, and it's literally every song I know well enough to play. I take requests, but it takes me a week to fulfill them because I have to go learn them. Sign-ups for non-list songs will be skipped.
Yes. Amber at this gig just threw this one out just off the top of her head. She says if it's not in the list, it doesn't exist.
There you go.
That's a good one.
It rhymes,
Write
so
it
it must
down.
be true.
Yep.
No. 2, and this happened, we're going to pause at the end of this one and talk about some. 2, don't pressure other people to sing.
Yes.
Consensual karaoke only. Even if your friend is a really, really good singer, and they totally should. Even if it's your kid and it would be so cute. This show only works when people choose freely to participate. Pressuring others, including your children, to perform is extremely uncool, so please don't do it.
Yes, agreed.
I have had so many little kids trooped up to the mic by their parents who don't want to be there and are on the edge of tears. And then I've got to play this song for them to sing the one their mom wants them to do. And it'd be so cute. And they're convincing me while the kid's crying. And I'm like, Why have you put the two of us in this position? Neither of us want to be here.
Yeah.
My mother made me perform in front of things, and now I'm a fucking dancing monkey. I can't do anything else. Don't you want better than this for your child? Okay. 3. Did that land?
I digress.
You heard that one loud and clear?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 3, respect the show and the flow. Don't grandstand, steal attention from the person performing, or stall out the show. When you're on the list to sing, stay alert for me to call your name. When you're the singer, put on an awesome performance. At all other times, be a great audience member. In other words, support other performers and help the show flow smoothly. Those are my 3 rules.
Those are good rules.
They're pretty good. And like all rules, they were necessitated by someone's behavior.
Yes. If we are looking at things kind of from a 10,000 foot deal, the essentials for this kind of thing is a person or group of people creating the music, a host of some sort, whether that's whether you're a sole proprietorship or a dedicated MC that is managing the signups and kind of scooting people on and off stage, and then some sort of medium from which to read the words as the music progresses.
Yeah.
So those are 3 things that you do need to have in order for live band karaoke to work.
Yep.
And I'll say just from experience that the slicker your systems, the more that you can charge. Frankly.
True. Listen, I was doing this weekly at a bar in town here for my normal acoustic rate, and my systems were not slick. I mean, I essentially had band helper on my mic stand on a thing attached to my mic stand, and I was paging through it with a foot pedal, and I was sharing that with the person singing. That's where they saw the lyrics.
Right.
Coming back after COVID, shortly after COVID, I didn't want them that close to me. So I stopped doing that. And in the app that I built, I gave them a link to Genius to see the lyrics for the song. And the expectation was that they would have their own phone and work through that. I don't think that works so well anymore. I think I'm probably going to put a second iPad on the second mic stand and sync band helper. That's the thing you can do, is make the displays sync. I think that'll be a little bit of a step up, but not anywhere near as good as having a dedicated monitor for it, or certainly like you've done, a full video display. That's a whole other level.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different ways of going about that. You can use Band Helper. There's services like Jam Zone, which have automated lyrics. There are software solutions like Pro Presenter and Ableton, like with those plugins like AbleSet, you can set lyrics to show automatically in advance along with the with your backing tracks. There are hardware solutions like the B-Beats, which is something that's gotten real popular in the Facebook group and the Patreon Slack, which is a kind of an all-in-one device that does your playback and can do video content as well as like a dedicated lyrics feed. One of those things that's like a very big haul on the front end that apparently has worked very well for folks that have gone that route. So there's no shortage of potential ways to do this. But that is something that does need to happen in order for this to be like a feasible product as far as, being able to sell it in the marketplace.
Right.
So Dan, why would you want to do live band karaoke with your project?
It's a really distinct sales opportunity. There are not very many bands doing it compared to how many are out there doing variety shows. And so it's a particular niche. It is particularly engaging, and it's super fun. When you get somebody up there who really knows their stuff or can just belt and is having a great time, and you have a great time with them, that all of that energy that you have with your band, add another person who's great, and it elevates it. Yeah. There are times when you add another person who's not great, and you got to kind of help them along, and that's it. That you're working then. That's work. Well, and anecdotally speaking, that's the vast majority of what you're going to be dealing with. I guess that's true. I guess that's probably true.
And there doesn't seem to be any sort of through line. You can't just look at somebody
No.
and just know whether it's going to go good or not. The first person that we brought up this weekend was like an 11 or 12-year-old kid wanted to do Don't Stop Believin'.
Okay.
And so this 12-year-old boy walks on stage, and I no clue what's about to happen. So the song starts, and all of a sudden, this voice just comes out of this kid. Just a small town girl. And I was like, oh, so this is a theater kid.
Oh.
And so we knew we didn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
But like just big, like Hugh Jackman vibrato. Anyway, it was great. And there were a couple of other ones that stood out. Now, there was a video that I sent Dan as we were starting the show, and I'll probably post it in the Patreon
It's so
group.
good.
This lady just like she did What's Up by Four Non Blondes, and just I don't know how else to say it. She just sucked me into her vortex. And by the end of this thing, like it was just one of those like things that can only happen on stage that is just so singular and magical, wonderful, however you want to, you want to position it, that made my night.
Yeah.
And you can hear it. So the funny thing is that the first part that I sent was shot from the perspective of our keyboard player, because she stands behind me. But the other video I sent was first person POV and a pair of these. And I really think it's a different experience from that vantage point.
Yeah.
Because at one point we are sharing the microphone, so this lady's face is like right here. It was quite something to behold. But yeah, one of the things that it is singular. There's nothing else like it, and that is a thing that live band karaoke can do for you as a performer.
Yeah, and it's so true. You have no idea what's going to happen. Somebody comes up and they're about to open their mouth, and it's the biggest mystery there's ever been. One of the earliest shows I ever did of this, and I've told this story before, a woman came up to sing Brown Eyed Girl, and she had nothing. She had none of it. She had zero of it. The la 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 la. She didn't have that. She had nothing. She just mumbled her way through it. And at the end of the song, she turned to me and said, "Can I do another?" I said, "No, you're done.
Yeah.
Bye." Then a little bit later, a guy got up and did The Wait by the band and tore it down. Unbelievable performance. And as we're packing up, I was talking to the bar owner about that guy who was so great. It's like, oh yeah, he comes in and does karaoke every week. He was a finalist in Star Search with Ed McMahon back in the 80s. Like a couple of decades later, he would have been an American Idol, this guy. But now he sings karaoke in a bar in Greensboro. It's, be born at the right time is, I guess, the lesson. But the point is, you never know what's going to show up. There was a night where a probably 14, 15-year-old girl came up to sing, and she was doing Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, and was amazing. I had no idea. You never know. But she opened her mouth, and it was just gorgeous. And she showed up to some stuff in the years since then, and she's now graduated. She graduated middle school. She went to the Performing Arts High School in town, and like she kind of kept me up to date about like what that voice is out there doing, and it's great. It's really great. It's really great.
It's awesome.
So you never know. You never know.
So I want to talk about a potential upside for the band itself, because the other thing that's unique about live band karaoke is that it a couple of things. It forces you as a band to operate as a unit, because
For sure.
when something does go sideways, it's just the 3 or 4 of you up there, man in the helm. So it teaches you to be a good listener and to be a good follower and to just like adapt and move and jump ahead a couple of bars if they jump in at the wrong time, if they speed up, if they slow down and there's no track behind it. Like all of those things have to happen. And so it's going to make you a much better band in a much, it's it's practice under duress is the only way I know how to like explain it.
Yeah, that's true.
It is
true.
it's a pressure cooker of sorts. And so it does force you as a band to get real cohesive real quick, because you all have to be on the same page, or you're not going to be able to get through through the songs.
Talk about needing big ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say to people, one of my superpowers is making people sound fantastic. I can bring my vocals in to support you if you need it and help you find the song. I can bring my vocals in to harmonize with you and make it, if you have it, I'll play with you and we'll find harmonies. If you miss your first note, like, not a big deal. It's just me on guitar. I'll play the intro again. We'll come around and I'll let you know. Like, so the flexibility of human performance versus a track is a big draw for this. It's a big part of it.
But also it gives you an opportunity to learn a ton of stuff real fast.
Yes.
Because if you have some sort of standing event, ultimately you need to continually be sweetening the list with new stuff. So like the city put out a post. I told them that we needed at least 30 days notice of whatever. So I think they did this about a month or two ago, of songs that, weren't on that, they would want us to do. And there were some good ones that we ended up adding to the list. Like we played through them. Lady in Red got added, but didn't get picked. But Apt from Rose featuring Bruno Mars, Apatia, that one got picked. It was a banger. And I mean, it's a 3-minute like filler of a song. It's a couple of chords. It couldn't be any simpler. But like two little 7-year-old girls came up and crushed it. It was great.
Cool.
Ton of fun. We did Set Fire to the Rain, Adele. We did Pink Pony Club. We did.
Nice, of course. Yeah.
We added Decode by Paramore. We played it at Soundcheck just because Amber wanted to do it, but nobody picked it. But yeah, it gave us an excuse to learn songs that they're not in our wheelhouse. They're not stuff that we would normally do, but now we have them. And so if we're playing some event and the crowd is looking like they would be more into Chapel Roan, we've got Chapel Roan in our back pocket.
Perfect.
So we've been offered standing karaoke gigs, and I've always entertained the idea, but inevitably something comes up where it's not logistically, plausible. But the idea that the band would get together once a week and play, that there's a definite upside to that.
Yeah, and that you're like a house karaoke band.
Yeah. It's just
a good place to be.
Yeah, it just gives you way more face time. It gives you way more stage time. It gives you more opportunities to do the kind of stuff that we do. Like, those are all beneficial things. And, you got a good name, you got a good reputation. A Thursday night gig could turn into a bunch of private Saturday night gigs. Like, there's
100%.
Lots of reasons why you would want to do that. It's a great way, if you've got the repertoire and the scheduling availability, to get yourself out there fast. Mm-hmm. Because most cover bands can't play in the same spot or play every weekend in the same city, but a live band karaoke band can.
You bet.
Because they are, you're basically just facilitating. So it's there's definite upsides to it. So why would you not want to?
Well, look, if you're someone challenged by crowd engagement, someone challenged by challenging people, the number of times I've had entitled folks come up to me and want something from me because karaoke's happening and it feels like I'm here to serve them is just so much higher than any other mode I've ever performed in. 10 times higher, easily. Because if you feel like as the band playing for a function, you're the help. Oh my God, are you the help as a karaoke band? There's no way around that. And that sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah, the interface with folks is just it's a high touch gig.
Very high touch gig, yeah.
So you have to have systems. You got to have the right attitude. You've got to have somebody who is able to manage the queue and handle the people, because it's a lot. That part of it is a lot.
Yep. And it can be done single-handed, as I've demonstrated, but it takes a lot of sort of getting over the indignity of it. I mean, in the same place, anytime I played even solo acoustic there on a night where there's like a birthday party happening, I'm just prepared for someone to come up and demand to make an announcement about the birthday boy on my mic. You just got to be ready for that, and not have it be a thing. And it's so much more than that for karaoke.
Yeah.
I can't even prepare you for the chaos that it might be with karaoke. People are going to come up. You're in the middle of a song. Somebody else is singing. You're singing harmony with them, and they're trying to say to the air, "Do you know some song you've never heard of?" And you don't, and you're not going to interact with them then, and they're going to get mad. And it really is the. I said to the manager of that bar, like, I'm about to ask you for combat pay because it's intense. It can be really intense. Now, you having done this right, have I don't know if it's wise to have it be your wife, but you do have somebody whose job it is to at those shows be that interface.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how smart I am to try to be the performer and the manager at the same time. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But however you cut it, that's a challenging piece of this whole concept.
Yeah, and I've done the all-in-one deal. Like we did a thing at Reformation Brewing where I was running the cue, I was running the lyrics, I was playing guitar, I was doing all of the things, and it's doable.
Yeah.
But the thing, I think overall, the thing that you've got to get accustomed to dealing with is that you are disappointing people left and right. It is a deal where you've got a finite amount of time. You've got a finite number of songs that you can play. You've got a finite number of people that are going to get picked. And then there's people that are just not going to get picked. And it doesn't matter when they signed up, because maybe they signed up for the same song as somebody else. And we already did that song. At this last gig, we did Party in the USA twice because there were two sets of little girls that wanted to do Party in the USA. So I was like, you know what? Who cares? We'll just do Party in the USA twice. But this was a situation where the crowd was very, very large. We had 70 people on the sign-up list when the gig was done.
Yeah.
70 people we didn't get to.
Yeah.
And it was something where we set the expectation from the mic. I talked with our client. I was like, listen, this it's already filled up. We are not going to be able to get to everybody. We will do our best to get as many people on stage as we possibly can. But just know that there's going to be some folks with some hurt feelings, and we understand and we empathize with it, but it's this reality of the situation.
Yep.
And I feel like every time we do one of these things, we learn something and we tweak something. And so it's like this constant push and pull of like trying to figure out the best way to handle things. But just know that ultimately you'll make a small group of people happy and you'll make a huge group of people really upset and disappointed.
Yeah.
But the check clears either way.
Exactly.
So there's that. So as far as getting out there to do this kind of thing, like how do you as a band position yourself for this? Now that is the real tricky part. The way that we ended up getting into it was I put it up on the agency page as a thing that we offered, and then somebody booked us for it. That's really that's what it boiled down to, is we advertised that we offered it, and then once we had one under our belt, it was like, okay, well now we know how to do it, and then we would just post about it whenever we did a live band karaoke thing. We put it on socials or whatever, and it just kind of grew from there. Like I said, we're search optimized for live band karaoke in Atlanta for some reason. And, we get a fair amount of folks hitting us up for it. But you have to have those things in place in order to even think about it, because it's going to, at minimum, take some systems to put in place. Or
maybe some hardware,
some software, some warm bodies.
Yep.
If this thing with 70 people that didn't get called, Amber was like, we could have thrown 4 more people in the mix and it wouldn't have been enough. So even if we had a dedicated person for the sign up, a dedicated person for the list, a dedicated person for the emceeing, a dedicated person for the lyrics, it just wasn't enough. There were too many moving parts. So for me, it's a bigger haul, and we charge accordingly, because karaoke gigs require additional work, additional gear to bring in. So we charge more for it. And that's something that you can't do. But, in my case, that money's going to pay my kid to run lyrics for me and those kinds of things. So be prepared to do some work on the front end in order to get things up to do so. But it's fun. I feel like I'm a bit ambivalent about it, because like you said, it's either going to be the greatest thing that you've ever seen or the worst thing you've ever seen. And you just kind of have to be okay with that.
Yeah. I don't want to the reality is when it's great, it's really great.
But when it's bad, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Now, the other discussion about this, and this is the one that I really resonate with. Shout out to Adam Z from You've Got 90s. He got his name dropped last week too. We were talking through all of this, and he's like, I just don't know if I could do this. I'm too much of a control freak. The thing about I don't know if I could be okay with that amount of chaos just out in the world. And my take on it, and this is the thing I said to the guys in the group during the show this week, I was like, I think this is good for me. Because I am that guy. I am 100% the control freak that wants everything the way that it's supposed to be. And going into a scenario knowing that there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that you just kind of have to
roll with it.
It's going to pull you under, and you just gotta you just gotta go with the current.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there's nothing else you could do. If you try to make it operate that way, everybody's in for a bad time.
Yep.
So in my case, it is a way to be on stage, not be to some level of perfection.
Yes.
To be fast and loose and to flub stuff and not be 100% and just be yep, that's what this is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that's good for me because
that's good.
I only a Sith deals in absolutes, and that's definitely something that I struggle with.
There you go.
I want things a certain way. So not getting my way is actually something that is making me better in a sense.
Yeah.
So if that's a thing that resonates with you, sit with that for a minute. See if that's something that you could, an idea that you could entertain, because it might just be the thing you need.
Exactly.
And for guys like us, that the show's kind of the same all the time. Yeah. It's on wheels. It's kind of safe. It's very predictable. Live at karaoke is none of those things. It's a shot in the arm every single time.
Correct.
And so it makes playing music dangerous again. And that is something that I don't always hate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's always exciting.
It is always something.
Yeah.
But that's our take on it. If this resonated with you, you have any questions about any of the things that we talked about, systems, services, software, whatever, let us know. coverbandconfidential@gmail.com. Leave a comment on this YouTube deal. We've got another one. I think we've got a couple in October. We definitely have a couple in December, some holiday parties and stuff. And so, this is it's just a part of what we offer.
Yeah.
So,
great.
We'll keep doing it, and you'll keep hearing about it. Any other parting words?
Try it out. It's a fun time.
Let's go. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. Couldn't do it without you. If you'd like to support the show, you could do a number of things, but I'll go ahead and call it for this week. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
You've been listening to the Cover Band Confidential podcast for the week of September 12th, 2025.